started journaling, I had no idea what I was supposed to do. Like, I just started writing. Like, I literally just started writing. What is going on? It's your girl C-Positivista. Welcome to another video. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing a little bit about my journaling journey. And throughout this video, I'm just going to talk through each of the journals and what I use them for. So this was my very first journal. Very cute. This was actually a gift. If I see what, yeah, so I started this journal October 2016. I didn't have a specific topic. I just sat down and I just wrote. That was literally what this journal was about. This journal was about me just putting pen to paper. It didn't matter what it is that I was writing about. It didn't matter what the topic was. I just wrote. And I didn't write every day, but I wrote when I could or when I felt like it, I wrote. So this was my first journal. My second journal was actually this one. This particular journal, I mainly wrote about my purpose, my identity, and just my relationship with God. Like, I would say I was going through, like, I don't know, some people would say a spiritual awakening, right? I was going through something. I couldn't explain what it is that I was going through. All I could do was write. So that's exactly what I did. I wrote. So my first entry on this particular journal, was the 16th of November 2017. And I found myself writing about my purpose. I found myself and I was writing about, mind you, I was writing about purpose, and I didn't really understand, like I didn't really understand the depths of what it is to have a purpose. So I didn't know what my purpose was, but I just knew that I wanted more out of life. I wanted more out of my day-to-day routine. I wanted more out of this experience of life, right? So this journal really helped me do that. It helped me just express the fact that I wanted more. I personally didn't know what the more was, but I just knew that I wanted more. I just knew that there was more. There had to be more. So there was a lot of like just processing. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot of just me just taking out frustration with the fact that I didn't understand what it was that I was doing here. I just knew that there was more to life, but you know, it was a battle with this journal. It was a battle, and I fought so much battle using this journal. I had another journal before this one. And that particular journal, I can't remember what that journal was about, but I weren't consistent. So it was just one of those things where I would write when I won. I would just, it didn't really have much meaning. So with this particular journal here, it's quite cute actually. Look, it's got like snake skin. But with this particular journal, this is when I started to understand myself. This is when I started to understand myself. This is when I started to understand God a little bit more. This is when I really started to understand that there's more to life. And I started to understand that in order for me to understand what I'm here to do, what it is that I am here to do, I need to go inside of myself. This was my discovery journal. This journal here. Yeah, there was a lot of I felt like there was a lot of secrets I was discovering of just the world of life. And I felt like I had to keep secrets. I felt like God was starting to trust me with things, with certain information. And yeah, and we were just building that. We were just building that relationship as he was healing me, as he was doing his part. I was just sort of writing, like everything I felt, everything I heard, everything I experienced, I was just writing it. But yeah, this was I would say my third journal. I would say this was my fourth journal because I had another journal prior to this one, but I didn't take that one seriously. So yeah, so let's just say it's my third journal. So this particular journal here, I can't even lie, I was on my Dr. Sebi era with this journal. This is where I started to get like intuitive messaging in terms of, I don't know, certain herbs that I could put together in order to heal something. Yeah, so I, if I felt ill, I would write down, I can put this together and I can put that together and I would take it and I'll be fine. And I started to write it down. Because I thought to myself, yo, this is how Dr. Sebi started. For me, it was like, yo, this is how Dr. Sebi started. Well, I don't know if this is how he started, but I started to really deep it. Like, raw, like, I could really make things within the kitchen and heal myself naturally. But yeah, so this was my health journal, and with this I was able to just put things in here that I just felt like, okay, these are like remedies that I can put together, things that were just in the kitchen I can put together. Like if I have a cough or I felt myself like just not feeling well, I could put things together, and once I drank it, once I ate it, or whatever the case was, I would just feel great. I would feel fine. So listen, don't come kill me for this information, because boy. But yeah, so this was really good, and for some reason I stopped journaling about like remedies and things like that. But yeah, but for some reason that's what I did. There's this journal here, and this is essentially it was my money management journal, and it was essentially for me to kind of like get financially lit. It's for me to understand financial literacy and for me to understand budgeting. So when they say things like, oh, in school, I wish they taught me this in school. Well, financial literacy was something that I wish I was taught. So I started to then teach myself. I started to then teach myself about just money, handling money, banking, credit scores, finance, and all of that stuff. So this was it essentially. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, but I'm a lot better with my money. I'm 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 a lot more frugal. I'm a lot more aware. Where, like, we spend money nowadays with, like, you tap your card and it's like you don't even see the money. You don't even see the money that you're spending. Like you're just tapping. So with that, it helped me become a lot more aware of my finances, and I through that journal or through journaling about finances and understand it, I was able to understand that there was a lot of things I didn't know. I didn't know how to bank. I didn't know how to bank. I didn't understand anything about credit. I didn't understand anything about investing and things like that. So I'm now on the other side of things where I'm a lot more clued on in terms of my finances. This was my health journal. So along with this journal, I decided to create a health folder where I was battling with menorrhagia, I was battling with anemia, and literally I was able to, I started going to the doctors regularly. I started to, you know, to get my my blood tests done. You know, it really taught me to understand my body, to understand myself in that way physically, because it's one of those things where it's like sometimes we wake up and we're just living, and it's not until you fall sick, your health is in trouble, that's when you're more aware about your physical being. And it's like this journal helped me see that, and through this journal I was able to then create a medical file. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to share with you what's within my medical folder. But yeah, so with this I was able to then go and get blood tests done. I was able to, now I know my blood type. I was able to understand what was going on with me, and then I started to change my diet. I started to change my routines in terms of like just making sure that I'm tapping in to my physical being. And yeah, this journal helped me do that. Along with this journal, I had another journal, which was, it was a family journal. It's not here, but it was a family journal where I had a lot of family wounds, where I had daddy issues, a mother wound, from abandonment and things like that. Those journals were just those those journals. I don't know what I would have done without those journals. But yeah, so there's those journals there, and there's this particular journal here. And this particular journal was mainly about like my dreams and stuff, my dreams, my spiritual gifts and things like that. So that's this journal. This particular journal here, this particular journal here, this is when I started to kind of, what's this? Found a note within my journal. I found a note within the journal. But yeah, so it's this journal here. Yeah, so this particular journal is from the year 2022, and I've actually got like, I've got chapters. And the reason, what helped me create chapters for this particular journal was because I was reading a book called Calling in the One. I'm gonna put the book here, but I was reading a book, Calling in the One, and when I tell you that book mashed me up, like that book just put me in a place. Yeah, that book played a big massive role within my healing journey. Literally, this journal was very much about healing my inner child. When I tell you, I'm gonna have to eventually go back to read this journal again, but when I tell you, going through this journal broke me, built me back up again, broke me again, built me back up again. It was a journey. It was a journey. And and I've got a fun journal. And with this fun journal, the thing with this is that when I was younger, I weren't allowed out. So I never really went out. I didn't really have a meaning for fun. When I started to grow up, when I started to have friends, when I started to go out, that's when I started to kind of like discover fun. And this journal was all about rediscovering what fun meant for me, what fun essentially was for me, or is for me. So from the back of this journal, I started going out more, I started exploring different things, and I just wrote a list of things that I wanted to try at least once. And if I didn't like it, then I wouldn't do it again. And if I liked it, then I'll keep doing those things. So this journal was about me getting in, like me reconnecting with my inner child. So I had to tap into my inner child for me to really understand what fun is, what fun was for me. You know, it's one thing you going somewhere because your friend wants to go, or doing something because your friend wants to go, or whatever the case may be, or somebody else or whatever. But I wanted to figure out what is it do I like? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? You know, and through this journal, I started to travel. I started to travel. I started going out. I started experiencing new things, listening to new music. It was just me rediscovering myself and what fun is to me. And remember when I said there's been other journals in between these, but these are just like my core journals. So last but not least is this journal here. And this journal is my latest one. And it's the reason why I got this journal was because I was going to Angola. I literally just came back from Angola. And I was going back home healed. And I was scared because for me, it was like, now that I've worked on everything, I've worked on my childhood wounds, I've worked on my trauma, I've forgiven the people that hurt me, and I've done all of this work. I was scared to come back and unravel things again. I felt like that was gonna happen. So I took this journal with me to kind of just document like what it was like to see my mom. I've shared on this channel before that I grew up without my mom, so and I hadn't seen my mom in 7 years, so just a lot of emotions were coming up with that. And you know, and where I had like daddy issues, like, and I was about to see my dad, like there was so much that was going on inside of me. But I came back and I didn't journal while I was out there, but when I came back, the first thing I did was to start to journal, and it turned out that it was okay, it was fine, and I made peace with a lot of things, and I made peace with a lot of people, and when I did see them, it was okay. It was okay, and all the work that I had put in was worthwhile. Even though I feel like I've done the work, and I feel like even though I feel like I've done the work, I'm good, I'm healed, you know, they say that healing is never really done. But I like to believe that I'm on the other side and I've worked on myself and I'm good. I can finally move on. Even though healing is quote unquote never really done, you can still get to a point in your life where it's like, I've worked on myself, I've worked past through things, certain things don't hurt anymore, and that's where I'm at right now. I've worked through stuff, things don't hurt no more, certain people don't faze me anymore, certain things that would have totally teared me apart no longer affect me. So for me, I'm healed. I've worked on myself, you know. So yeah, so I thought I'll just share that with you guys. But yeah, so I've got another video coming up where I share the benefits of journaling, and just in detail of like some of the things, some of the benefits that I have felt through journaling. But yeah, I just thought I will go through some of these journal with you guys, just to kind of bring that sense of like transparency to my channel. I do want to open up a little bit more, because as much as I want to help other people here, when I want to provide information and things like that and tips, I feel like sometimes when it's through experience, you're able to connect a little bit more with people. But yeah, so through experience, my experience with journaling, let me know in the comment section if you've journaled before, if you're thinking about journaling, if you're starting to journal, if you want to start to journal, you know, any fears that you may have. Because I've spoken to people before, I've spoken to clients before where they've kind of just shared, well, you know, like where they've shared that they live with family, so they're scared someone might find their journal. And it's like, you can journal on your phone. Like, you can start to journal on your phone and put a lock on your note, on your note on your phone, and no one will see it. So it doesn't have to be a physical journal. I don't have that issue where I'm worried about whether or not someone's going to see it. And I do trust that anyone that's around me would respect my privacy. So yeah, so thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment if you're journaling, starting to journal, want to start to journal, if you've journaled before, how journaling has helped you in the past, how many journals you have, because I've got a lot of journals. But like I said, these are my core journals. So yeah, I'll see you on the next video.